Good afternoon. Hello, hello. Hey, Ms. Yodellaros, how you doing? Hey, hubby Bali, how you doing? Hope you're all well. You can hear me okay, see me all right. Good morning, Diana, how are you doing? Hey, Jimmy, good to see you. Hey, Pip's Apprentice. Hey, Christina, how are you doing? I'm just trying to sort out something on the other stream. Very early in the morning there, Ms. Yodellaros. I don't know why it's not working on my other stream. Doesn't seem to be, but it seems to be working here on YouTube. Why are you all in the same place but different timing? One second, just let me sort something out. Give me 1 second, guys. Well, 1 minute. Don't know why it's not working on the other stream. Hey, Spiros, how you doing? Hey, Kelvin. All right, let's keep going. Good morning, Angel K's. Good to see you. Welcome back. Hope you're feeling 100%. All right, so don't know why it's not streaming on trading.live, but I have sent the link over there, the YouTube link there to everyone there. So for everyone on YouTube, hope you can see me okay, hear me all right, and everyone on TradingView, good to see you as well. If you are new to the session, do drop a message. Let me know where you're joining us from. Love to find out. And for all the regulars, I recognize all the names. So good to see you all back here with me today on this daily market analysis, where we'll get through the fundamentals. Not a lot for today, but we'll do a quick review of what happened last night. We'll look at the technicals in terms of where price is and look for some possible trade setups. I think it will be quite similar to yesterday's setups because a lot of it wasn't triggered yet, right? Might be still setting up for that move. If you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free, put it into the chat, let me know. And all I ask is a big favor from you all. If you can help me out, click that like and subscribe button on YouTube and on TradingView, that little rocket ship button as well, just so that we get more people onto the stream. And if you haven't already, the link for the Discord channel is there. Do make sure you join us on Discord. With that, a quick disclaimer, any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. The contents of this webinar is not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, and please remember that your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. With that, let's keep going. Oops, not that one. Good morning or good afternoon, Desiree, how are you doing? Hey, good morning, Booba, good to see you. Hey, Goju, how are you doing? Hope you're all well. Anyone got onto any interesting trades? Do let me know. I would love to find out. I can do a quick review of that as well. Okay, so take that away. What has happened since the last time we spoke yesterday? We were waiting for this, right? This was during the session yesterday, but we were waiting for the 9:30 news from the US, where I was expecting retail sales number to be lower. I was expecting core retail sales number to be lower. What came around was a little bit of a better than expected news, right? Better than expected news. Mizio Della Rosa was shorting the pound yesterday, very similar to Jamil. So doing very well. Pound did come down quite a bit, so I think Mizio Della Rosa and Jamil would be very happy. So what happened on the retail sales yesterday? It was 0.7, got revised up to 0.9. Expected is minus 0.3, but it got released at a minus 0.1. So not as bad as expected, but still dropping from that 0.9 down to minus 0.1. And you see that core retail sales, right? And what's the difference with core retail sales is that it excludes automobiles, went from a 0.6, got revised up to 0.8. Expected minus 0.1, came out at a 0.1. So not as bad as we had anticipated in terms of the retail sales number and the core retail sales number. Did slow down, did drop a little bit, but not as much as expected. While on the other hand, the core PPI, the purchasing or producer price index, it was a 0.3, expected 0.3, but it came out at 0. And also PPI month to month was, oops, why is it not coming up? Was 0.5, expected 0.1, came out at minus 0.5. Okay, so what we're seeing here is in terms of the producing price index, the cost of production, we're not seeing an increase in the inflation growth numbers, right? No inflation in I would say, yeah, no inflation in core PPI, and in fact a slowdown in inflation growth or negative growth in the PPI for producing cost of production, all coming to very good, what's the word? Sentiment, very good views, very good direction, because it's leading to what we saw. This was Wednesday, leading to what we saw on Tuesday, where CPI for the US showed a big slowdown from 3.7 to 3.2. So if the cost of production slows down as well, right, the inflation and the cost of production slows down as well, that's also going to lead to further slowdown in the overall inflation growth, which means that the US economy or Fed Reserve is more likely to hit or get towards its 2 to 3% target level. Okay, so because of that, if you look at the CME Fed Watch 2, let's see whether the percentages has changed. Look at that. This was a 1 week ago was 85 to 14, right? 85% to hold, 14% to increase. Just 1 day ago on the 14th, it was 99.8 to 2. Right now for the December 13th meeting, it's 100% likelihood that the Fed Reserve is going to hold rates at the current level at this point. right, at this point. Does this mean that they're definitely going to do it? No, they can still surprise markets. Does this mean that it's always going to stay at 100%? Not at all. This number can change as well. But what we're seeing is because of the CPI number on Tuesday, because of the PPI number that we saw yesterday, that has led to the markets anticipating that the Fed Reserve will hold. Most likely, almost 100% markets are thinking that the Fed Reserve is going to hold rates at the 13th of December meeting at the current level of 5.25%. What we saw because of this news, on the PPI news here, on the dollar index, we can see, move it there, on release of the news, that was a 9:30 p.m. news. I'll zoom in a bit just for you guys. Hey Jamil, how are you doing? How did you go on the pound dollar? We were just talking about you, right? So this was the news on the dollar index. I'll take that away. Okay, this was the news on the dollar index where we saw it push down and then right back up again and continued up, now approaching that resistance level. So why did it push back up and retrace? One is because first part is why did it shoot down and then retrace back up is because although we are seeing that inflation numbers are slowing down, leading to that weakness in the dollar, the retail sales number was not as bad as expected. Right, the retail sales number was 0.1, while core retail sales number was 0.1, while retail sales number was minus 0.1. So it was not as bad as expected. And that's why we saw the dollar push back up, right? It pushed back up. What happened at 11 o'clock? I think it was probably crude oil, but I had no other big reasons on why we saw that push back down. Most likely, I would say it was a technical level, right? Came up to that point, technical level, pushed it right back down. But we're seeing now, take this away for now. Let me take that away. Oops. We're seeing this very small channel to the upside. Okay? Typically channel you want it to touch at least 2 points. So it broke up, tested, now it looks like it's pushing to the upside for the dollar index in the short term. So that was what happened since the last time we spoke on the US core PPI and retail sales number. With that, then we come into today. Hey, good morning, Atir. How are you doing? From Belgium, Flanders. And Jamel made 64 pips on the pound, I guess on the pound dollar yesterday. Very good, very well done. Okay, early this morning at 8:30 a.m. GMT plus 8, we had the Aussie employment numbers. Unemployment rate climbed slightly as expected, 3.6 to a 3.7%, while the employment change climbed quite a bit from a 7.8, was revised from 6.7 to a 55K, so a big strong move on employment change, more people being employed, but unemployment rate climbing slightly. That means that a lot of people are looking for work, but we might not be having the job opportunities. That's why we're seeing the unemployment rate climbing from 3.6 to a 3.7. Maybe businesses not really ready to hire, okay, or open up positions to offer jobs. With that, what else we had? Not much else. All through to later, we have President Lagarde from the ECB speaking at the annual European Systemic Risk Board online conference. Don't think it's going to do too much. Unemployment claims for the US at 9:30. That's a weekly number, not expecting a big change either. From 217 to 221K, I don't think we're going to see a big change. And then not much else. All through to tomorrow, where at 3 p.m. same time when we're going to start our session, we have the UK retail sales number going from a minus 0.9 to a 0.5. That looks interesting, but I'll tell you more about that tomorrow. And also we have the core CPI and CPI number for the Eurozone tomorrow. One thought I'm developing now is, or today, is that what we typically see is with a big move during the week and not much else after that, we might see a deeper or stronger than expected retracement towards the end of the week. So this is something to watch out for, something to look out and be careful of. Okay, so we can see here that in terms of news, not a lot to be excited about for today. So mostly will be down to technical levels and levels to pay attention to. With that, we'll look at the charts. Today being the 16th, and it's storming outside. I'm just listening to the storm outside now. So anyone who is in bad weather, or I don't think you'll be in bad weather because you're watching the stream. So you should be glad you're indoors. If you're in Singapore, you should be glad you're not caught in the storm. Okay, so what I'm looking at here in terms of the dollar index on the H1 time frame, 16th, yesterday we were anticipating that it would climb up to that 104.50 level, anticipating that weaker retail sales number to push it down to 103.60, which is way down here. Didn't happen because we didn't see that weaker than expected retail sales number. Okay, so as a revision, this 38.2 is still valid. We're still holding this valid because it hasn't broken yet. That 23.6 was broken, so I took that away. Now, one I'm thinking is that seeing this point here, right? Seeing that point here being in between the, let me think of how to move this. Okay, in between the this swing low here that we saw on the 6th of November, right the corner here, right across, and you see it right in the middle of that 50 and 61.8 retracement level, catching that move as well. I'm thinking that at this point now, and like we were saying, there is that upward trend line supporting the move to the upside. No major news. What I'm anticipating is it might continue up and push before pushing back down. All right. I'm actually now thinking whether it's going to push back down or not. Most likely what I'm looking for is this push up around that point, and then from there I'll be looking for a push back down, because we are thinking that there's less likelihood for a Fed rate increase, and there is no big reason. Okay, so what my viewpoint would be that it breaks above 104.60, gets to about 104.90, which is right in between of that 50 and 61.8 level. Look for reaction there. I would anticipate that we'll see it come back down again, but we need to see what happens at that point. Okay, so in terms of what we're going to say here is that it's going to continue retracing to about 104.90. Okay, look for reaction and continue to continue trading lower to, when it comes up to this point and it rejects this level, it'll push back down. I think look for reaction, could continue trading lower. Okay, why I changed this? So what my thought is now is that noting that there are no big news events, possibly no big driver in price volatility, what could happen here is that for today we might just see the dollar index push back up towards this level. All right, so looking at the dollar strength, short-term dollar strength push back up there. And that might be it for today. Don't see a reason why it will get up there and push back down again. So continue retracing. Well, first off, we'll see dollar index needs to break 104.60. Could then to continue retracing to 104.90. Look for a reaction at that level. Look for reaction. Look for rejection to continue trading lower. There we go. That makes more sense. So needs to break above 104.60, which we have there, to continue retracing to 104.90. Look for rejection to continue trading lower, but I think most likely this will come in tomorrow, possibly. But today, I think it's just going to climb up to that point. Okay. Good morning. Hi, D-Train. How are you doing? Hey, Bjorn. Good to see you again. Hey, E-Sprangers. Good morning. Hope you're having a great day. So that's the view on the dollar possibly pushing back up with some strength. Not a great deal, I think. Right? Most likely it's going to stay below 105. I'll put that over. Okay. Stay below 105 for bearish sentiment. Okay, it needs to stay below this 105 level for that bearish sentiment. If it breaks above that, then we're back to dollar bulls again. So with that, then looking at the charts here, that did not trigger, take that away, stretch this all the way to the top. You see that from where we were at the bottom there to the top, fib retracement level, it's broken that support. It is sitting at that 38.2 level. All right, sitting at that 38.2 level, looking like it could push back down because we are anticipating some dollar strength to come back into play towards the resistance area or interim resistance level. What I could be looking out for 0.5970, not very far away, so you got about 20 pips there, down to 40 to that 61.8. Yep. It could go a lot lower. It could go down to this point. But we're not looking at a very big move here on the dollar, so I don't see why this should be a big move down. What we could have is that we could have this levels here like that. So we would say that we're looking to sell down 15970, stop loss 20, take profit 70, but we would consider closing out at 40. Okay, so that buy did not trigger. We'll take that one away. We're looking to sell 0.5970, stop loss 20, take profit 70, but we would be considering a possible hesitation at 61.8, which is that 40 pips level. I can't type. Okay, there we go. There we have it. Any questions so far? All good, let me know. And just a quick feedback, how are you guys finding the sound? It sounds okay. Then on to the Aussie. Aussie was retraced a lot deeper than I expected, did not push up, so that's buy trade, did not trigger. Well, we know why, because the dollar strengthened slightly and now pushing back down, right? So thank you, Mr. Delaros. So if you did get into the pound, to the Aussie dollar for at this point at 6.485, did we highlight that? Yeah, no, we didn't. We were looking at that possibility to come back down, 6.485. If you got into that at that point there, then you would be holding on to that trade to the downside. It's bounced back up, pushing back lower again. Okay, if you didn't get into that trade, then what I would best suggest, and remember why we were, actually I'll move that back there, right? Why we were considering a possible sell here on the Aussie dollar, if I'm not wrong, it was because of that point, right? We're looking for the break, 23.6. We had all our levels here, understanding that this was going to be a big, strong resistance. It's formed a bit of a double top or quadruple top. Is that a pattern called a quadruple top? But we know for sure a double top here pushing back down. Okay, so if you didn't get into that trade, then don't rush into it yet at this point. I would say that it is now. Yeah, first heard here on this stream, a quadruple top. Good point. 6460, 20 pips to 40 down to that 61.8. I don't like this entirely. All right, I don't like this entirely just because I feel that it's a bit like we're forcing a trade. I have this point here, right? I would even advise that it might make more sense just to forget about the Aussie dollar for now, look for it to react to a support level and break down from that. But we highlight this, if there's no other trades and this seems to be a quick one, you could get into this, but it's not going to rank very high on my priority list at this point. In fact, what I would love to see is sit there for a while, push back up, and then after that turn back down, which could look like this, pushing back up, turning back down again before going back up. In the very much smaller view, could do that. All right, so that's my thought on the Aussie. But if it does breaks down from here straight down, then you'll be looking to sell at this point. So 6460, 20 to 40 to the downside. Good point there from Spiros. Thanks for spotting that. Yes, if it does, Spiros just said Aussie dollar head and shoulders. I'm looking at it as your shoulder there, your head, and then that shoulder there, or a head and a shoulder there. I prefer that as a whole head. Neckline will be that point breaking down, so that could happen as well. Yes, that makes sense. So we might not even see that happen. Okay, so now if we think about this a little bit more, then so long as it holds this level 6490 to push down. No, okay, I'll still maintain that view. I don't think you should be getting in any earlier. Maybe 64, close below 6465. Stop loss again 20 pips. Take profit down to almost 50 pips to the downside. I'm thinking that this could go to 25. 25 to 50, I'll do that. Because I just want it slightly, even 30 would be, 30 would be the best. It's not a great risk to reward, but 30 would be the best for 50 down to this 61.8 and support level. We look for that. Okay, so 6465, 30 to 50. Oops, why is it, oh wait, what's it doing? Take that away. Okay. So Aussie dollar, we're looking to sell 0.6465, stop loss 30, take profit 50 on a possible head and shoulder. All right, good spot there, Spiros. Thanks for that. You need that. Why do you need that, Bjorn? I don't even think it's gonna, I think it's gonna just push down. I don't think it's gonna test that. It's gonna push down to break and then push lower. Let's look for that because Bjorn needs it. Then on to the yen. Very surprising here on the yen. So, it pushed, we were at this point where we were saying that reject 38.2 and push lower. It did come down to the support level, right? So it did not go all the way down to the trend line. It came down to the support about 45 pips and then pushed back up. Okay, I did not get into any trades yesterday just because it was retracing. I thought it was going to continue to the downside, so I wasn't ready to jump into any short-term trades. But you see that the yen pushed down to about 45 before pushing right back up. And this again highlights the importance of your support and resistance levels in addition to those trend lines, but your support and resistance do tend to hold quite well, and that's the 150 round number level. Okay, so take that one away and you see that yen has completely retraced that move, well, not completely, but almost completely retraced that move to the downside that we saw on Tuesday, right now at 151.40. What needs to happen? Nothing on the yen so far at this point in time for us, right? Why? Is because I want to see, it's too near to the resistance to do anything. I want to see a reaction at this 151.80 level again, right? We saw it happen here at 151.70. We saw it here at 151.90. I want to see what happens at 151.80 this time round. So don't do anything on the yen. Yen, let's say, do nothing. Look for reaction at 151.80. There we go. Makes sense, fair enough. Bjorn's looking for 6412 on the Aussie. 6412, pretty much where we were anticipating it could get to. So yeah, looks like it could get there. Looks very likely it could get there. I think we spotted a head and shoulder on the Aussie the other time. This one. So this was the shoulder, head and shoulder, broke the neckline, saw it trade down to that trend line. Maybe might happen the same way again. All right, and if we extend this trend line It might come quite close. Then on to the pound dollar. Jamil did well. Monsieur Delaros did well on this. I sat there thinking that we might see it bounce back up. I was quite keen when I saw that. Oh, let me take this away for now. I was quite keen when I saw that. Okay, so that push. Let me just move this 1.2440. Okay, that there. Okay, so I was quite keen on the pound dollar as it was happening. Right, we were thinking that it's going to come down, bounce off the support to push up. It came down. It looked like it was bouncing up. Didn't close very strongly above 1.2440. Then the next moment it came right back down. So I did not get onto the pound dollar in that sense. Right, and you see why it did that. It broke out of the Bollinger, came right back in. That's also another reason why I thought, didn't come back in strong enough. And because it was just going to trade along on the pound, on the Bollinger, most likely going to continue lower. That's why, did not fire off that trade. Right now, pound dollar breaking. I'll be waiting in demand area. Yep. Okay, pound dollar now breaking below that 38.2 level, right? Having broken that support turned resistance level. Look for it to close lower. Look for it to close below this 38.2 with 61.8 down there. It could come down anywhere within here and bounce back up, but we could be looking at 1.2370. Stop loss tight, 30 pips, take profit, 60 pips to the downside. Right, a continuation back down, that would make sense. 50% level is right there, close enough, but okay, I'll still look for that 61.8. Looks like something that could happen quite soon, quite quickly here on the pound dollar. So 1.2370, 30 to 60 on the pound dollar. Sell 1.2370, stop loss 30, take profit 60 to the downside. Yeah, just needs to break, just needs to close below that point within this hour. So in the next 20 minutes, full attention on the pound dollar. Well, not next 20 minutes. At the end of 20 minutes, full attention on pound dollar. For now, full attention on this stream. Then we have the euro dollar looking. We were thinking, hey, what if the dollar strengthened? What if the dollar strengthened? We're looking for the euro to push to the downside. It did continue pushing lower. At this point, pretty much unchanged from our view from yesterday. 23.6 broke, 38.2 is too far away, so I'm not going to bother about that. But 61.8 would be right at that support level. Right, it did push up to that point there. So this was yesterday, tested again, pushed down. As a revision, what I'll be looking for on the, take that away, on the euro dollar. To push down. I'm actually again thinking whether the euro dollar could be the contrarian. Could be that contrarian view again. Right, because everything else, or almost everything else, seems to be showing good potential dollar strength to the downside, but the euro dollar seems to be sitting right across. Seems to be sitting right there at 1.0830. Could bounce back up, but no. Okay, no. I don't think it would be reasonable at this point to look for it to bounce. We've got that as our resistance. We've got that as our interim low point. What could happen here on the euro dollar is a test of 38.2, a retest, and then a back down again. Okay, so what I would be looking out for in this case, 1.0820. Yeah, test, retest, 1.0820, stop loss 20 pips, take profit 50 pips to the downside towards that support level. If that point is there, so that makes sense. That's a whole area. There we go. All right. 1.0820, 20 to 50. Very dollar bullish at this point. 1.0820. Looks like a flag. Okay, let me have a look at that. 20 to 50 on a euro dollar. Looks like a euro flag. Yeah, there is that gut feel that the euro dollar could push back up. We're looking at that possibility on the euro dollar to push to the downside. So we have that move and then that flag. If it breaks up and push higher, yeah, that's why I keep, I'm a bit hesitant. That's why I was thinking that the euro dollar could push back up. Dollar index is sitting right there, struggling a little bit. Let's put the euro dollar as a contrarian view. Okay, in case we see a dollar strength. In case we see a dollar strength, we could see that push, dollar weakness, we could see that push back up because it could sit there and reject 38.2 before pushing back down. So what I'm thinking is, and it's developing, but it's not something that I want to rush into because you got a big strong resistance there, right? So you're only looking at this if we see that big confirmed, pretty much confirmed dollar weakness, then 1.0890, stop loss 20, take profit 50, same thing to the upside. So we put that as a contrarian view. We have been selling or looking to sell the euro dollar pretty much across the board. I think it'd be safe to have an option here to buy on the euro dollar in case we see that dollar weakness come back into play. So 1.0890, stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the upside. All right, so nothing at this point. I wouldn't do anything until it breaks past this resistance for the upside push. Okay, thanks for that. Thanks for spotting that, Spiros, again. Spiros is on patterns today, the head and shoulders and now the flag. So yeah, I think that's a good spot. And that's also kind of why I was, initially thinking that maybe the euro could bounce. it might do that and then that. Yeah, it might hold that and come back down but push up. But we'll hold that as a contrarian view on the euro dollar for now. Then on to the Swiss test. We're looking for a test that resistance before pushing down. It came close, and then after that it pushed down halfway before still consolidating along this resistance level. Okay, and if you notice that the last time we had this, it was almost at that same point, right? 8880, almost at that same point. Can't do the same thing now. We can't expect that the same thing is going to happen now, because there are a lot of candles, a lot of happenings there, right? So don't think that we can look for that sell to the downside. Anticipating that dollar recovery. No, it doesn't look like it wants to recover now. It looks like it might from here break to the downside. We'll see on that. If we look at that from the top to the bottom, 23.6 is right there. Okay, it's gonna sit there. I want to see it sit there and then push back up, but I want to see either it break above that resistance and climb up. I don't think it would be reasonable to look for the sell down. It's not looking like it's worthwhile doing that. So we look for the upward push on dollar strength. 89 above 8989.05. Take profit. 50 pips. Stop loss. Tight. No more than 20. We're looking at a lot of 20 to 50. 20 stop, 50 take for today. It looks like. All right. We're looking to buy 0.8905, stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the upside. I'm still a bit undecided here on the dollar, whether it's going to bounce or break through from here. What's happening? Dollar holds ground, we know that. Nothing, no big surprises there. So it's going to sit there. 38.2 is right there. That's too far away. Look for it to break. Okay, I'll keep that view. I don't think it's worth trying to sell it down, because if we were trying to sell it down like what we were looking at yesterday, then there would be a lot of levels that we need to pay attention to, right? If we're just trying to catch that 45 pip, you start thinking that it might bounce at like 20 pips. It might come all the way down. I think there's too many levels. We'll look at this to push back up. Hey, Hiker's Diary, how are you doing? You're new to this? Good, you're in the right place. Do make sure you join us on the Discord channel, and welcome to the community. Oops, wrong link. That's the better link. There you go. Okay, I'll keep that on the US Swiss franc. Very unfortunate that the CAD did not drop as much as we had anticipated for that bounce. But what you should be seeing here, and I think Spiros would, I'm trying to rush before Spiros tells me that, is you could be seeing a little bit of a head and shoulders, inverted head and shoulders pattern here on the US CAD, on the loonie. And you could be seeing that as the neckline. Let me just leave that there. You could be seeing that as the neckline. And if we did this, you'd see that it's tested and broken above 23.6. So we can take that one away. That point is 50%, 61.8. I think what we'll be looking at on the US CAD will be a push to the upside because of an inverted head, needs to close above that. So 1.3710, no, 10 says too early to get in at 1.3710. So 120. You'll be looking at 1.3720. Take profit 50, stop loss tight no more than 20. Again, another 20 to 50. Okay, I would catch that. I would pay attention a bit to the 50, but not the way it broke through. I'm not super keen on that level because it broke through quite easily. Then I'll pay attention here to the 61.8. Okay, 1.3720. Oops, wrong one. 1.3720. Stop loss 20, take profit 50. Right? We were anticipating a possible push. Did not drop as low, so now we're looking for this move higher. Dollar, look at that, pushing back down. That's going to mess with all the analysis that we've just done, but I think that if it stays within this range, even if it stays just about there, above 104.40, could see it bounce back up. If it breaks 104.40, we'll see that continuation back down. And then it's a straightforward continuation of the trend. We can update on that in the Discord channel. Then on to the last one. Once the price reached to a key level, which on the lower time frame 15.510 shows the price action clearly in order to enter a trade. All these setups here are done on the H1 time frame. So the setups here are on the H1 time frame. I would always wait, especially for most new traders, even intermediate traders. I would always wait for a what was I going to say? I was always wait for a close of the candle on the H1 time frame before jumping into a trade. Okay. Hope I answered your question there, Hiker's Diary. We're not done yet, Diana, but we're on the last one on gold. Yesterday came up to the resistance level, failed to break higher. We were looking for it yesterday to go past 1971 to 1978. It got to 1975, didn't get past to that break resistance, only above 1978 we could see 1988. So it didn't get past 1978. It came right close to 1975, 1976 before reversing back down because of that short term or the current dollar strength. Now still below that resistance level. 50% is done. 61.8 is still holding. Diana says, don't trade gold yet, but thinking to do it, don't want to stare at the screen all the time. Yeah, you all know the way I approach this is more short-term, well, very short-term, intraday, very intraday, a bit more scalping style on gold. So yeah, it does take a bit more time. And also that's why when I give you the analysis, it's just in general directions. I will maintain the same view on gold. Right? It needs to break above 1971 to see 1978 and 1988. At this point, it needs to break 71 to see 77, 78 to see 88. I'll keep that same view on gold for that upside push. All right, so with that said, the dollar is still being undecided. It looks like we might see that push back down. A little bit disappointing. I was hoping that we'll see a bit more move. But that move, if it does push back down, that dollar weakness coming back into play, it does not make, it makes it a lot easier to get into trades because we're all looking at dollar strength. For example, on the Kiwi dollar, if it does push back, if dollar does weaken, then it's all about, you know, breaking that resistance, buying it up again. Aussie dollar, dollar weakness, pushing past that resistance, buying it up again. US yen pushing up a little bit more, turning down from that resistance would be perfect. Pound dollar might sit there and push back up, right? So it's all a continuation of trend. Don't stress out too much if we do see that dollar weakness come back into play, because it just be a continuation of the trend. We have it planned out here on the euro dollar as well. Sweezy, I'm not super keen. CAD, looking only on that dollar strength to push it back up. Okay, so with that said, you're most welcome there, Jamil. Hey, if you guys have any feedback, any comments, please put it into the chat. Let me know whether you're on TradingView, on YouTube, not streaming on Trading Out Live today. Put it into the chat, let me know any feedback, any comments. You like it, you don't like it. If you can help me out massively, do click that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on Discord. And if not, then I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place. For now, trade well, trade safe, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.